Hello, Krishna. Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Mm-hmm. So, what I want to say, like when the participants reach maximum, na, then you take a screenshot of the this one attendance. Okay.
Sir, this is not Krishna, sir. This is Tracy, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I thought Krishna.
Okay, sir. He's not listening, I think. I don't know.
Hey,
Krishna.
I'm listening.
Ah. Then
Uh,
answer na, Krishna.
okay, Krishna, you please take the screenshot of the attendance. Okay. When
Yes,
afterwards,
sir.
once
Yes, sir.
once class get over, you just WhatsApp me.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. So where are others? Which class you had now?
So analysis.
Okay, okay, okay. So finish now, everyone. Why there is a people are joining very slowly. Okay, guys, like let them join. No issue. We won't. We will not waste our time. So, like in last class, we have finished with the pharmaceutical legislation and code of ethics. Okay. I hope that you guys got the slides which I shared to Jatin. Everyone got?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Then I hope that everyone go through that slides or you have seen read that oath, pharmacist oath. Okay. We have just finished general introduction about what is the jurisprudence and when it has been like what is the need of this subject, all those things we have covered. Okay, now we cover is very important aspect of this pharmaceutical jurisprudence, that is known as drug and cosmetic act 1940 and rules 1945. Okay, so this this chapter, especially as for your sessional final terms, you can consider is a very important chapter because it having the various objective schedules, different types of license for import, manufacture, distribution and sale. Apart from you have advisory committee. In advisory committee you have drug technical advisory board, you have drug consultative committee, you have government analyst. Okay, so all those things will cover, and then apart from that you have that what you can say role and duties of the drug inspector and government analyst. Okay, so all this aspect we will cover in this chapter, and you can consider this chapter at least or minimum 25 marks for your final term. Okay, so before we'll go through this chapter, I want to just clear one thing that uh, uh, all act in pertaining to this subject or whatever like we see this Pharmacy Act, Drug and Cosmetic Act, Medicinal and Toilet Preparation Act, Psychotropic Substance Act, Patent Act. Okay, so this all act will be passed by the our parliament. Okay, Indian legislature. Okay, these are not like that any kind of book or anything. Okay, where like someone is writing book and they are publishing. Okay, so this all act will be passed by the central government. Okay, then they will implement it into our books. Okay, this is what you need to remember about all this act. Okay, if someone will ask like who will prepare this act, you cannot say this book author name, that NK Jain or Agarwal or any kind of author. Okay, they are just writing the whatever the act in a simpler way or in a easiest way that student can understand. Okay, but when you see this act will be passed by the Indian legislature. Okay, so we'll start with our chapter Drug and Cosmetic Act. Okay. Hmm. So the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 and rules 1945. Okay, so what is the need of this act? Okay, and why this act has been passed in the legislature, and what are the requirements? See, whenever you are manufacturing, distributing, importing, or selling any kind of drug or any kind of cosmetic also, so you need to assure that the final consumer, like patient or any person who are or any particular customer to buy the cosmetic, those who are taking it should be having the safety as well as efficacy of that particular drug. Okay, so behind that, like whenever you are manufacturing any drug, you have some of the standard requirements. Okay, so those standard requirements will be okay, sorry, this network issue. Okay, so like whenever this act, okay, like whenever you are buying any drug, so whenever you are manufacturing any kind of drug, you should make sure that whatever drug you are manufacturing, so that drug should be having the proper amount of ingredient or excipients. Okay, so for that you always follow the some of the standard formulary books, like you can say Indian Pharmacopoeia, British Pharmacopoeia, United States Pharmacopoeia, all those things. Okay, and sometimes you are following the indexing books and all those things. And this act is not only for this, what you can say. This act only not only for this allopathy kind of drug. Okay, this act will be implemented for the Ayurvedic, Unani, homeopathy as well, or other kind of cosmetic, like you can say mosquito replicant, cream, lotion, all those things. It will be useful. Okay, see, we'll see the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. The Indian legislature passed the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 with the object to regulate the import, manufacture and distribution, okay, and sale of drug. It's applicable on allopathy. It's applicable to allopathy, homeopathy, Unani and Siddha drug, as well as on contraceptive, mosquito replicant, creams, lotion, cosmetics and device used for internal and external use for the diagnosis. So you can see in the slide clearly they have mentioned that this act would be the applicable for all kind of preparation. It is not only restricted to the allopathy. Okay, so whatever the drugs or whatever the types of drugs which are manufacturing, distributing or selling in the India, so you have to follow the this rule. Okay, without this following this rule or without the following the guidelines which will be mentioned in this book in this act, you cannot proceed towards any other thing. Okay, so like whenever someone who are drug inspector or government analysis, for them you will find on their table a very heavy kind of book. Okay, so for the drug inspector, this act is considered as a like purely they follow this act only. Okay, without following this act, they will not perform any other, they will not go for any other thing. Okay, so in this act, you will find out the what kind of schedules you have, what kind of drugs you have, okay, and what type of license you have. All those things will be dealing with the this particular act. Under the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, the regulation of manufacture, sale, and distribution of drug is primarily the concern of the state authority, while the central authorities are responsible for approval of any kind of new drug. Okay, see, like when we see this statement, we can easily identify like central body, like you can see Pharmacy Council of India. It is one of the central council. Okay, so they have again sub council which are known as state pharmacy council. Each state they have their own pharmacy council. They have own set of rule and regulation which will be followed by the particular state in that registered pharmacist. Okay, or apart from that, any manufacturing units or any kind of business pertaining to the drugs, it need to be covered by the and whatever the rules and guidelines will be there, which will be followed by the any state pharmacy people. Okay, but when the central role will be there, what would be the role of the central government here? Like you can say central government here nothing but DGCI. Okay, and then DGCI, apart from the DGCI, you have again CDSCO. Okay, and then you have Pharmacy Council of India. These three bodies of the central council or central authority, they are totally responsible for the any kind of new drugs and clinical trials in the country, or those who are happening in the see. Might be you guys know 2 days ago, one of the new drug like Febiflu, okay, by the Mumbai-based pharmaceutical company Glenmark, has been approved by the DGCI to sell into the Indian market. Okay, so what is the need of hour? Okay, see, need of hour is any kind of drug which can cure this COVID-19. So this new drug like Febiflu is will be useful for the mild to moderate condition of COVID-19. Okay, and recently also you have seen one of the drug which has been it is a older version of drug, but it is the outbreak of the for the COVID-19, that is known as dexamethasone. Okay, so that dexamethasone has been approved by the or successfully completing the effect on the COVID-19, the patient who are on the ventilator or those who are in the ICU. There is a ratio like 1/3 on the on the ventilator and 2/5 on the ICU. Okay, so they has been approved immediately. So what is the need? They like they have not like the main concern is that the need of the particular drug in the emergency situation, which the decision, okay, will be considered or will be approved by the central council. They will not go for all this what you can say drug discovery and new drug application. Okay, like drug discovery and new drug application will take minimum 20 to 22 years for a single molecule for any particular disease or disorder. Okay, but need of hour is that if you wait for COVID-19 for 22 year or 25 year, you can imagine what could be a drastic situation in the world. Okay, so during this situation, what the central governing council role is that any kind of drug which will be or which are already available, like dexamethasone is a steroid which was available and very cheaply, like you can say its 10 tablet price is not more than 8 rupees or 9 rupees in the Indian market. Okay, so that outbreak make the many like people who are in this working somehow relax. Okay, so in that time they are not waiting for the this dexamethasone whole clinical trial. Okay, so what they will do in this situation, the main role of central authority, they will approve any drug which is showing the effectiveness against the COVID-19. They will directly put into the clinical trial first phase. Okay, they will not go for the preclinical, like preclinical in the sense on animal. Okay, neither they are evaluating any kind of toxicity parameter on all this thing, because when this drug has been launched earlier, so that time all studies has been done. Okay, so now no more preclinical, neither they are going for phase 1 or phase 2. Okay, they are directly going for the phase 3 clinical trial. Okay, in that what they have done, whatever how many patients they will take, near about 200 to 500 patients on that, they will perform the study, or once they are showing the effectiveness against the particular drug, they are launching, or they are filing the application for the approval of this drug for the.
అయితే అందరికి టామ్ టామ్ అయిపోయిందంట మనము అట్లా తగిలిస్తున్నాం అనేసి.
What happened?
అందరు అడిగినారంట. వాళ్ళ మమ్మీ అయితే జ్ఞాని వాళ్ళ మమ్మీ, నువ్వు చెప్పిన వాడి కార్ ఖాళీగా ఉంది వాళ్ళు తోలుకోమని అని అడిగిందంట. వాళ్ళ ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు అందరూ అట్లా అడిగినారంట.
ఓకే వాణి,
వాడే చెప్పాడు. వాళ్ళు అప్పుడే
హలో గైస్,
ఇంత టామ్ టామ్ అయిపోయింది. నేనేం చేసేది, ఇన్ని రోజులు తోలుకున్నారు కదా మేము, మీరు తోలుకున్నారు సంబంధం
వాణి
అయితే.
వాణి హలో,
Hello, sir.
okay, hopefully now I'm audible. So what I was telling about the need of power about this drug. See, whenever any new drug, see, which has been come into the market, you will see like they are coming immediately directly into the phase 3 clinical trial. Then once they will show the good effect, they will go directly for the approval from the central council, and there the role of central council will come. They will, without any delaying, they are going to approve any new drug which are required for the emergency situation. Okay, so therefore here the role of central council will play a key role. And whereas the state, okay, state pharmacy council, they will only regulate the this whatever the manufacturing, sale and distribution of drugs which are going into their state, they are the mainly concerned for the that thing. Okay, and then I hope that you know about this how this new drugs and clinical trials in the country, and laying down standard for drugs and all those things, you are aware about the situation, like how it will be follow. If not, I will give you a small just explanation how they may go for this approval. See, whenever any new moiety or new chemical, okay, which will be manufacturing. For example, initially when any company or any person or any researcher, they are preparing any new molecule, they will not only develop a single molecule. Okay, they will develop a thousands of molecule for a particular disease. In that, what will do, they will go for preclinical study where they will perform, identify the toxicity of that particular molecule. Okay, they will go for the LD50, that is nothing but lethal dose in 50% of animal. Means if after giving that particular new molecule to that animal, if 50% of animals survive or there will be a no death, so that drug will be considered as a safe. And whereas if the animal is showing mortality or morbidity more than 50%, like in one group, if you have 10 animal, if there is a 6 animal are dying due to that, then that drug will be considered as a toxic drug, and it will be not will be a participant for the further study. Okay, so this is how they will remove the toxic molecule and the safe molecule will go for the further study. Okay, so here you can consider like 50 to 60% of molecule will segregate. Okay, only 40% of molecule will go for the further study. Okay, at 40% they will perform in the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whereas the population number will increase in the depending upon the different phases. Okay, once phase 3 will be done and it will showing the potent effect of against the particular disease or disorder, then they will file the new drug application. Okay, in new drug application, whichever country's regulatory body, they have to go follow that guideline, and they will apply. Once they will apply, they will get their approval, new drug approval. Okay, and followed by they will in nothing but they will go for the patent. Okay, once the patenting done, patenting mostly they will do before the filing of the new drug application, because if anything will be like nowadays one term is there, biopiracy. Suppose in a group of 10 people, if some 10 people are doing one research on particular molecule in someone who are only the part of the study, who are not the main investigator, they can copy that thing or they can stolen the particular formula or idea, then they can sell it to others. So therefore people will do the patenting first, so no else can be stolen their idea. Then once they finally phase through phase 3, if they will go through, then they will apply for new drug application. And once new drug application is approval, then they will go for the marketing or selling of the drug. Okay, after that particular country will ask the company to perform the phase 4 clinical trial. That is nothing but marketing surveillance. Means whatever reported toxic effect or any adverse effect during the phase till the phase 3, what you have mentioned. So apart from that adverse effect, if any other adverse effect will be reported after the phase 4, then they will identify. If the adverse effect would be the severe adverse effect, then they will withdraw their drug from the market, and again they will send to the company who manufacture. They will identify, they will resolve, and they will again sell for the drug. Okay, here one more possibility come. See, suppose this Glenmark has prepared the Febiflu. Okay, if they want to sell this Febiflu to the other country like US, UK, or any part of the world, so what they need to follow as per their regulation. So that's what I'm talking, that if any other country, in other country, if you want to sell your drug, so depending upon their regulatory rules and regulation, you have to follow. For example, if US want to sell in our in country that any particular drug, if they have go through the all preclinical or clinical trial, whatever, then here not to go through the all phases. In India, if they want to sell, they have to go for the from the phase 3. So in India, they have to go for the phase 3 only. Okay, but if any country those do not have their own regulatory body, they have to go for the whole means they have to go for the whole process, like from preclinical to the till phase 3. Okay, if they want to sell their drug in the India. Okay, so this is what in India. Again, I will tell you, in India mainly the central council like DGCI, CDSCO, and Pharmacy Council of India. These three body are responsible for any kind. Sorry guys, there are today too much network issue here with me. So I know you might having problem again and again. Okay, so that is what I was telling. That you need to follow all those things. Okay, and in India, as I told, that this three body was the responsible. Okay, and apart from that, this three body also will look for if any drug is the substandard or spurious or misbranded drug. all those control over the quality of drug. Either they are manufacturing, or if we are importing or we are exporting anything, these three bodies will look for the all those things. And apart from that, coordination of the activities. Okay, we'll see the next slide. See what is the aim. Okay, so its aim is that that act which to regulate the import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of drug and cosmetic. Okay, where it is expended nothing but properly and practically. Okay, to regulate the import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of drugs and cosmetic. Okay, so it is nothing but like act is saying that you have to regulate and all those things, but meanwhile what will happen in practically how you are implementing this law. Okay, so that thing also you need to uh, follow up. Okay, like practically we should be implemented. Okay, it is not like in a theoretically, okay, you have read, yeah, how to regulate and all those things, but when it's come to the practically, then how it will be uh, deal with that thing, the main aim of this subject, okay, or this act. So here you will see the objective. So there are plenty of objective regarding this chapter. We'll see one by one. See, the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 provide the central legislation which regulates import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of the drugs and cosmetic in the country. Okay, so this empower the central council, okay, or central legislation. That central legislation has empowered the central authorities, so regarding the import, manufacturing, distribution, and sale of drug and cosmetic in the country. So again I will tell you a little thing that cosmetic, why it is important. Okay, see, many of you people use different types of cosmetic. Okay, see, when you are using eyeliner, okay, so you will make sure that when you are implementing eyeliner, that eyeliner should be have not
Hello.
so that eyeliner should not be irritant to the your eyes. Okay, if you are using some of the cream, foundation, or any kind of cosmetic, you will make sure that it should not be having any irritability to your skin. Okay, so how you will overcome from this. Okay, see, for the cosmetic, okay, many of people are allergic. Okay, so they will do the one allergic test on your either below the ear or on the hand skin. Okay, for 24 hours they will keep that thing. If below the ear, if there is a no redness or there is no sign of any kind of allergy, then it will be considered to a safe for that particular person. Okay, if there is any sign and symptom of allergic like will response. Okay, will response nothing but redness, flushes, all those things will be there. If it will be not like that, then you are advisable to use. Okay, if any kind is there, then it will be asked that do not use. Okay, and one more thing, beyond before that meeting is over, I just want to say this is a recurring meeting. Okay, if meeting is over after 40 minutes, or like we are going to end like 40 minutes, again you join on the same link only. Okay, so the next objective is that the main objective of the act is to ensure that drug available to the people are safe and efficacious, and the cosmetic marketed are safe for use. Obviously, okay. See, when you are dealing with the any drug, any kind of drug, either it could be a over the counter drug or any kind of emergency drug or anything. Okay, you always have that thing in the mind. Okay, whichever type of drug or cosmetic you are preparing, it should be a safe for end consumer. Okay, it should not be like how we perform our experiment in day to day practical life. So, some of you are very sincere. Okay, you will weigh exact quantity of drug. Like if they ask in procedure, like you take 50 mg and then you are taking exactly 50 mg like on butter paper, all those things procedure. some of you follow, like, but most of are like, how most of will not carry the butter paper only. Okay, they will take some of the paper. If 50 mg is there, then you are taking 51 mg, or some are taking 55 mg. In thinking of that, who is going to take? Okay, in that mentality is there. Okay, but that mentality will be fine enough for the practical purpose or for your marks purpose. Okay, but when you are doing seriously work into the industry where you are not doing for yourself, you are paying by the industry for the end consumer. Okay, there you cannot think, okay, 50 mg you are taking 50 or 60 mg, nothing will happen. That 10 mg make a big difference. Okay, so always need to be a precautioner. Like when you are when the procedure or in standard book they ask 50 mg means exactly 50 mg, you should not take 50.5 also. Okay, so it will be a considered dangerous, because after you once you take more than the prescribed limit, okay, when you go for the evaluation test like quality control test for any kind of tablet preparation, if there is a dissolution, as like standard book are mentioning that dissolution should be in 10 minutes, but you have added more, so what is going to happen? That 15 minutes 20 minutes they are taking. Okay, so it will be not considered to be marketed. Okay, so then they will identify where the mistake has been gone. Okay, once you will identify that you have done the mistake, then you will be fired from that company. Okay, so always keep in that mind. Either like, don't keep in mind that you are doing farm d, maybe you are not working in the industry and whatever, but sometime in future if the there will be a relaxation in for you guys also, if you are also allowed to work in industry, then you have to be think in this manner only. Okay, you should not go like whatever you want you can add. Okay, so this is what the second objective of this. Okay, the third objective of that, the drug and cosmetic act regulates the import of drugs into India so that no substandard or spurious drugs get imported into India. Okay, so this act empower, okay, to central government bodies to see to it that whatever drugs you are importing from the any country, okay, it should not be having substandard or spurious quality of drug. Like whatever they are mentioning, you are not getting that kind of drug. Okay, because of this act, what is the need of this act? Because you